Welcome back to Age of Mythology Retold. My name is Kem, and this time we complete all 12 missions of the new Atlantis campaign on the Titan difficulty. If you haven't watched my previous Age of Mythology guides, where we beat the Fall of the Trident campaign on Titan, I invite you to do so if you're interested. That being said, let's begin. Chapter 1, A Lost People. I've been waiting for this, as the Atlanteans were my favorite faction back in the day. Move your units forward and bushwhack a pack of wolves before they can bushwhack us, and use a settler to build some walls, separating our side of the map from theirs. Don't forget to eat the wolves, it's good protein. There are 2 enemy camps that will send alternating attack waves of spearmen and cavalry units, build up an economy, finally free of the drop sites, as now we get a constant stream of resources since our units no longer need to move back and forth between the drop sites, and train more Murmilos as soon as possible, as they're the all-purpose melee unit we have access to at the moment. And we need a constant stream to keep up with the enemy. With the cavalry waves present, any archers we train right now will get turned into paste. Once we get the first fire siphon, defense will get easier since we can just stick it back behind the walls and shoot. Speaking of sitting behind the wall, with 2 more barracks we can start making some archers as well. And I love the Arcus. It has decent damage and a huge attack range, not to mention it has an upgrade path in the barracks. After getting all the upgrades and building a large army, we can start marching on the enemy camps. Take down the first one, which is largely undefended. Move back home to deal with the next raid, then move north to deal with the cavalry base. Once these are down, you now have free reign to gather all the resources anywhere on the map, but you won't need them. Attack the last base to the east, taking out the buildings to capture the sky passage. Garrison your units inside and bring your workers as well. Once everyone's in, we are transported to another land and the mission ends, granting us the New World Old Gods achievement. A fine start. Chapter 2, Atlantis Reborn. Another fun one. Send your villagers to repair the first temple, and one of them to explore to the left. Take your military units and attack the nearby enemy camp before they have time to train any units. Once the barracks is down, we retreat back home to the wall to meet the first enemy attack wave. By this time, we also get the behemoth to help us defend by soaking up damage until our units arrive. Build a dock to have access to a small lake with 5 fishing spots, and keep an eye out for relics, as there are a ton of them on this map, all with great bonuses. Age up with Oceanus for the Caladria to heal, and upgrades for melee units. In the new age, I made a barracks and a counter barracks, trained some more Murmilos. Using our myth units as tanks, we can now keep the enemy attacks at bay. Also, a Cherio Ballista will help lift the pressure of the infantry waves in the start. I quickly age up again with Thea for the birds and the trees, and make a few oracles to generate favor. Make sure to keep them apart, otherwise you won't get any favor from them. Make more production structures and start pumping out archers, while getting all the upgrades you can, and train a few Dryads and Caladrias as well. Push forward, taking out the enemy front base, while rebuilding all the temples along the way. Don't forget you can build sky passages to bring your units to the front quicker. Continue the attack on the enemy base and take out their production buildings. Don't forget to build another settlement and upgrade them to provide more population. With the entrance destroyed, make sure you have a maxed out army before attacking the city itself, as there is a horde of enemy units that will prove dangerous. Upgrading as many units as you can to heroes also means we have an amazing anti-myth unit attack, and their sheer number will take down any approaching units. They also combo great with the Caladria, since those can slow down enemy units, making them an easier target. Our beefy frontline also awards us with the Beastly Bulwark achievement. It took a few attacks, losing the front line and retreating before I could break the enemy line and take out the production buildings to slow down their numbers. Sadly, we can't build any more behemoths to tank. Only by restoring the temples we can get our Atlantean hands on them. Take down the town center and it's over. Chapter 3. Greetings from Greece. This one is a bit different, as we can't build a town center or an arsenal. Capture the nearby plenty vault, build a barracks and send your troops to take out the nearby fishing village, capturing the docks in the process. Destroy a statue of General Melegius, and here all the enemy attacks will converge. Capture the nearby vault and continue to produce more Murmilos and archers, promoting some of them to heroes. Between attacks, move into the cave east, taking out the Cyclops and their temple. getting another plenty vault and an underworld passage that will lead us to 2 relics and a base we don't want to fight. After defending against a large attack, build an army of Murmilos, archers and destroyers until you hit the population cap. Upgrade them however you can. Destroy your FPS by turning everyone into a hero at the same time. And march on to the general himself. Avoid the Death Army guarding the vault and follow the eastern road leading to the enemy city. Break down the gates, use your god powers to confuse everyone, and once Melegius is alone, kill him. Use the shockwave to delay the enemy reinforcements, and once he's dead, the mission ends. Chapter 4: Odin's Tower. Start by taking your units to the right side of the map near the forest. This will be the staging ground for our invasion. Build up an economy and prepare a temple for the relics and 2 barracks for our unit production. On this mission we'll want archers and destroyers only. The temple units are not that useful with the gods chosen for us, and we can't age up to the mythic age yet. When you notice the forest is burning, that means it's time to defend against the enemy waves. Nothing too crazy. There's a small puddle to the south with 2 fishing spots, enough to offset the scarce food on our side of the map. Once you get as many units as you can fit under the population cap, heroify them and attack the first enemy. The destroyers should be able to destroy any building in their path, and the archers provide a constant barrage of damage on the enemy units. Once the first camp is down, build town centers to increase your cap for even more heroic units. Take out the enemy town and deconstruct the first temple, replacing it with one of our own. Don't forget that you can move your buildings forward using the time shift ability, letting us reposition the barracks to the front line. Just make sure there are no enemies around, because if they smash the scaffolding, the whole palace goes away. Take down another temple and another town, while slowly bringing your workers forward to rebuild. And to make a new temple for the relics we find on the way. The increased movement speed to Heroes 1 is perfect for us once we get it. At this point we have an army big enough to steamroll anything the enemies have in store for us. Attack forward and don't stop. Sad we didn't have to use the recall ability to move around anymore, since they made all the valleys connected now in the remaster. Don't be afraid to use your deconstruction power offensively on the enemy hill forts, as they have 4 charges, and after that you can still continue to use them for dirt cheap. Finish off the pink enemy and deconstruct the last fortifications. And after we replace all the temples with our cooler ones, bring Castor close enough to Odin's tower to receive the god power strong enough to demolish it. We vacuum up Odin's house and move on. Chapter 5: Ancient Relics. It's time to strike against the Egyptians. Start by sending 3 workers to the other side of the river to build a town center, and build a dock with the other villager. The first attack wave will hit from the top side of the temple, so we're moving our army here. Once the dock is complete, queue up 2 siege ships and send your villagers to build some walls. The enemy will send attack forces from both sides of the river if we don't deal with them right away. Send your 2 ships upriver and take out the north dock. When the town center is done, put everyone on wood and start making villagers and siege ships. With the first dock destroyed, it's time to move downriver quickly, as the enemy will start pumping out ships very soon. Build a barracks next to the temple and start making units to defend. I didn't really use any myth units against the Egyptians, as they send a lot of priests that can take them down very fast. With the second dock down, we are now safe from any water attacks. Let your ships take out the enemy riverside barracks and make a small wall above your economic base. You will never get attacked here, so focus on defending the temple. Build up a force of hero Murmilos and archers, and no enemy will breach the temple. I also suggest farming the river, since there are plenty of safe fishing spots in these now uncontested waters. Stack up upgrades and make a squad of destroyers and archers to use as a strike force against the enemy. Starting with the pink one to the south, kill the bird people, and take down the gate to recover the first relic. Deal with the spawned set animals and return the relic to the temple. Next is going to be our southern neighbor, Orange. Use a transport ship to sneak into his base and take out the stronghold, town center, and production structures. You could just break the gate and steal the relic from the start, but I wanted to have fun and level the whole base to stop any further attacks. This enemy force you see now by the water would have been a naval drop, but they're stuck waiting for a transport ship that will never arrive. Always deal with the docks first. We return the second relic, and use the same strategy on the red enemy to the north. While this one has more units and our strike force won't be able to clear the entire base, We can take out a lot of production structures, so they won't be able to train as many units to defend. Looking at how many resources we're floating right now, we can safely remake this army as many times as needed. Attack again, take out the base and steal the relic. For the last one I pulled everyone, go back to Pink's old base and take the southern road, placing us right in front of his base. I use all my god powers here and quickly take the relic. I head back to the temple as I see an attack wave close in, but the palaces managed to stall them long enough. And with the last wave down and the fourth relic returned, we've won. Chapter 6, Mount Olympus. A no-build mission. Use the temples to turn your regular units into myth units. For the first zone, have a mixture of Valkyries and Cyclops, and attack the lower shrine first. I noticed here that my units stopped attacking after a while, as the Cyclops were throwing the units around, and that seems to have messed with the AI. So I deactivated the autocast on the ability, and the problem was fixed instantly. Take out the shrine for 2 bolt charges. Watch out for Jason, who is the bush hobo waiting for you to destroy the shrine. Don't forget to heal between the fights. Take the long way around to the other shrine and raise it for the curse power. Use the bolt on the Colossus and curse the enemy units. As you take down the 2 barracks next to the passage, send the pigs back to the temple to turn them into more myth units. Once you're ready, use the passage to cross into the next area, and here we'll have to defend it against attacks from multiple sides. After dealing with the waves, break down the right side gate and destroy everything for more god powers and upgrades. I turn a sizable chunk of my army into manticores to deal with the next few waves that will be infantry heavy. After defending again, we go to the left and destroy the shrine and convert one of the colossi. Both would have been great, but I managed to damage one too much for it to be worth it. Attack the lower base, taking out everyone and turning a large chunk of the manticores into hydras. Here I found out that if you use Betrayal on a fully stacked hydra, you get a basic one back. Kinda sad. Proceed to the south to fight the enemy army and remove the production structures from here. Now we can quickly end the mission. Continue on the path and take out the gates guarding Mount Olympus. Have Castor on a control group alone. Zap some heroes, and once the second gate is down, use the chaos of the fight to move him to the Temple of Zeus to win. Chapter 7, Betrayal at Sikyos. Castor finally realizes he's been betrayed by a man who has never used moisturizer in his life. Sadly, we're back as playing with the Egyptians yet again, but this one is so easy you can win it in 15 minutes. Start by putting everyone on gold and make a temple. Send a villager to wall off the small section to the southwest of your base and start making villagers for food. No more than 4 or 5. Defend against the first attacks and train priests, and I mean really train priests. As the enemy only has myth units, you won't need another unit. Don't let me catch you make a single barracks. Queue up all the houses you can, since they are free, and make an armory for the attack upgrade. Wall off the western section and keep making priests and villagers for gold. Raise the Migdol stronghold as forward as you can, and gather gold to age up with Osiris. Now all these enemies will attack us from the front, where our army of priests can melt anything. Once I queue the new age, I restart priest production, and by that I mean automatically training them from 2 temples non-stop. By the time the Titan decides to attack us, we have over 60 priests and a son of Osiris. He'll focus on the base, so don't be afraid to attack him with everything, and pull the pharaohs as well. Let him stomp around a bit, and eventually he goes down, prompting an instant win. Nice and easy. Chapter 8, Cerberus. Another Egyptian mission. This time we have to defend the son of Osiris as he powers up the Guardian. Start by sending your priests around the map to recover relics and the lost caravans, as we don't have any gold mines on this mission. Wall in the trade routes as soon as possible and station a few priests around to help defend against the enemy waves. As the enemy attacks will again mostly be myth units, you can't go wrong with the priest spam. Build some strongholds next to the Guardian to help defend, and don't be afraid to pull the Son of Osiris if you need him to deal with some attack waves. Speaking of attacks, it will be relentless. coming from all sides, you don't have a lot of time to sit and wait. At one point, a rock will try to make a drop in your base. Sadly, I wasn't fast enough to catch it before it got in, but I saw it quickly enough to respond to the attack. I mix a few camels and elephants to deal with the human attackers. At least they're good meat shields, and have 2 squads of priests defending the trade routes, as your main force always stays by the Guardian. At one point, when you've healed a certain percentage of the Guardian's life, the enemy will cast Recall, bringing all units to your doorstep, all of them focusing on the Son of Osiris. Make sure you have enough troops to defend him, and if he gets a bit low, just garrison him in one of the nearby strongholds. Easy. When you're nearly done, the Titan will attack you. Use your army to distract him long enough for the Guardian to awaken. When he does, just attack him a few times and we're done. Chapter 9, Rampage. This one can be played multiple ways. You could set up a base and an economy and wait for the Nidhogg to save you. Or you can take your starting army, use full stack to freeze the Titan while the rest of the guys deal with his units. Without any military units, Ymir is unable to build a base, so just bring him to a corner of the map, and now we can reliably attack him with our heroes. Make a few Hersirs and Trolls for the range attack, and just keep wailing on him. After he gets out of the ice prison, move everyone back, leaving a single hero for him to keep busy. Once Falstack's breath is recharged, send everyone back in. The healing fountain also helps keep everyone topped off, and it honestly feels like I'm bullying him. I didn't manage to trap him with the gold mines, but it would have been funny to have him stuck until the Nidhogg arrived. You could also age up to the 4th age and use Ragnarok on a large population of workers to speed up the process. When we finally kill him, the mission ends, and we go back to playing with the Atlanteans. Chapter 10, Making Amends. Not much to say on this mission. This is the first chapter we have access to the last age. Start by using Gaia's powers to grow forests and block the 2 openings in the right wall. All of the attacks will concentrate on the top side now, and it will be easier to defend. Focus on your economy, to train units and get upgrades. The enemy waves will alternate between Prometheans, which are going to be destroyed by your heroes instantly, and what the Atlantean base can produce: cavalry, ballista, and satyrs. Age up with Atlas, train an army big enough, and attack the enemy base. God damn, they made the implosion beautiful. With the base down, the enemy can't produce anything else, so the Titan and his entourage are all that's left. Build town centers on the scorched areas, and once you have 4 in total, the Titan will be so weak he'll die from a few archer volleys. I can't believe I waited to build up for so long for such an easy fight. Chapter 11, Atlantis Betrayed. Another fun one. We must clear out every district of New Atlantis to remove the automaton threat. Start by heroifying your fanatics for an easier time and move from zone to zone killing the automatons. You can't make any new villagers, so use the ones you have to gather wood and gold. However, you can make as many fishing ships as you want from the docks. Use the sky passage to get to the next area and avoid the laser towers. Once you clear out the enemies, we gain access to gold mines, and once the automatons are dead, we must build up a force and attack the center of the island. The enemy will send attack waves, but they shouldn't be too hard to deal with, and we can use the sky passages to move around and react as needed. With a few hero archers and destroyers, we can attack the topside gate, take out the army and the palaces defending the zone. The enemy will spawn a Tartarian gate, but this will actually help you, as their units will now be stuck fighting whatever spawns from there. When you have a clear path forward, attack the gate blocking the enemy sky passage and garrison everyone in. After the meteors stop and you can move, that is. Chapter 12, War of the Titans. The final chapter of this campaign, and an easy mission to beat. Build a palace with your starting forces, and train 10 destroyers and 2 fire siphons. Make as many of them as you can into heroes, and attack the enemy base. No sense in defending from them if they can be beaten easily. Breach the gate and move clockwise, clearing out everyone. When the base is in ruins, take your troops to the Gaia pools, clear out the few enemies that remain, and plant the seeds. Once you do so, a timer will start and we have to defend the trees for 11 minutes. Not a hard task considering everyone is dead. When you have about 5 minutes left, Kronos will escape from Tartarus and we'll have to keep him busy until the timer runs out. The open gate will also spawn various units that will try to take down the trees. Don't worry about these waves, as we only need to have one tree alive by the end. Once Gaia spawns, use her to banish Kronos back into the earth and finish the new Atlantis campaign on the Titan difficulty. When you get back to the main menu, Honor to Castor should unlock. This was a lot of fun. It felt more relaxed and easier than the base campaign. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you beat New Atlantis on Titan if you had any difficulties. Don't forget to subscribe and join me next time as we're going to speed through the Golden Gift campaign and get the rest of the achievements to 100% Age of Mythology Retold. Take care.